Hey Lightweights, today I'm going to be reacting to episode 9 of Band of Brothers, Why We Fight, and I am very, very anxious. At the end of last episode, it told us that we were going to be entering Germany, and I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm sad that we're getting close to the end, although I am excited to see how it ends, to learn who all of the people are in the interviews, all that good stuff, but I'm definitely nervous and interested to see what happens in their time in Germany. So I guess I don't really have anything else other than that to say, other than I'm scared. And I guess excited, but mostly scared. If you haven't up to this point, please make sure you subscribe, especially because we're almost done. We've got other things that we're going to be reacting to, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those. And feel free to hit that bell button too so you get notified when I post future reaction videos. And here we go.
Everybody was happy to see the war coming to an end, and the Germans didn't really have that much of a heart for it, and they realized that the end was there.
I think we thought that the Germans were probably the evilest people in the world. But as the war went along, we found out also that it wasn't the Germans per se.
And we might have had a lot in common. We might have liked to fish, he might have liked to hunt. You never know, Of course, they were doing what they were supposed to do, and I was trying to do what I was supposed to do.
We saw that at the beginning.
Under different circumstances, we might have been good friends.
I think I said that at the beginning. The audacity of Netflix putting a skip intro button. It's rude. So interestingly enough, I just found out that my step-grandpa, I knew he was a veteran, but I wasn't sure which war he fought in because they had a lot of kids. So, and my stepdad was one of the younger ones, so he was much older than like my other set of grandparents. So anyways, I didn't know what war he fought in. Technically, he was a veteran for World War II, which I didn't know. But interestingly enough, he was in the Navy, and by the time he was done with his training and got deployed, he was technically only in for a week, and he didn't even make it to his destination before, I think it was VJ Day. So he didn't end up having to do anything, but he was still considered a World War II vet. Kind of worked out nicely for him. These are so much harder to watch now. Because the ones where they're happy, it makes me sad because they're not those people anymore. And then when we see characters that aren't with us anymore, or we see scenes that I recognize that make me sad. At the beginning, I was so excited to find all the scenes and where they were, but now it's just painful. Especially that one. I think I'm gonna cry every time I see that one. Part 9. Why We Fight. April 11th, 1945. Thalem, Germany? I don't know how you pronounce that. Apologies. This song is beautiful. Oh, I hate the baby crying. 1 month earlier.
Just grab him by the foot. Come on, chicken.
Oh!
Guten Tag, Fräulein.
Guten Tag.
Hey, come on. I just want to talk to you. Huh? Here, look what I got.
What you trying to do there, friend?
You don't like chocolate? Forget it, I don't like chocolate either. How about this? Cigarettes. Dad,
Oh, Luz.
Okay, Frank, please, why don't you go make your omelet?
Well, you ain't getting none of my eggs, you blockhead.
I got 2 packs. You give it to your friends or something. Why don't you come sit down? Want to sit down? Yeah? Hey, Frank. Hold on.
I hope that stung. He's not looking good.
So what happened? No dice with the Fräulein?
No dice. She smacked me in the mouth. Germany's looking like it's gonna be pretty good fraternizing territory, huh?
Yeah. You want your cigarettes?
Better get a stiffer jaw than that. Oh! Okay! Oh my god, he's a baby!
Oh, shit! Where's my stuff?
I thought I'd leave it over there, sir.
He doesn't care. He just wants his stuff. You're gonna be able to follow the path of easy because there's not gonna be anything shiny left. Spears left, taking it all. He is not doing well at all.
Thanks. You're welcome, sir.
What's wrong? Everybody else seems to be in better spirits.
Sir?
Did he at least take the picture out of that picture frame?
Yes, sir. I'll make sure it goes out first thing in the morning. Boy, your folks are sure gonna have quite a collection by the time you get home, sir.
What?
Finders keepers.
Was that technically illegal at this point? Or was that an after World War II law? I know I've asked that before and I don't remember the answer. I'm so sorry. It's one of those information that just will not stick.
Probably the only man in the 101st with 3 combat stars over his jump wings.
Not bad for someone who's never fired his weapon in combat, huh?
Really, you've never?
Nope.
Is he upset by that?
How'd it go this morning, the jump?
It was great.
I don't think it was great.
Took a direct hit over the drop zone. I got out. 2 others got out.
The rest of the boys?
Oh, they blew up over Germany somewhere. Boom.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
About what?
Well, tough situation.
Oh,
for
yeah,
you.
the boys. Yeah, it's terrible. You know, the real tragedy is they also lost their CO, so guess who gets to write all the letters home?
That explains a lot. Oh my god.
She'll be happy to hear that Sink is transferring you back down to Battalion S3.
What do you think I should write to these parents, Dick? I don't know how to tell them their kids never even made it out of the damn plane.
You tell them what you always tell them. Their sons died as heroes.
You really still believe that?
Don't you?
Oh, Nixon.
Oklahoma's still playing on Broadway.
Hey, Oklahoma, when the wind comes sweeping down the plain. When the wind comes right behind the rain.
He sounded so good.
Why don't you leave the singing to Luz? Unless you want to do like Sorry with the Fringe on top, O'Keefe. That could be.
He sounded so good.
I guess our boys in the 17th Airborne did okay after all.
Forget it. We'd be in Berlin by now, sir, if it was us instead of them, huh? That's right.
I love seeing that they at least are in much better spirits this episode.
You in a rush?
No?
So what? You want to go home with a Congressional Medal of Honor or something?
Oh, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, why don't you do us all a favor? Don't think.
Esto sale mierda cagada.
Yeah, Rocco just finished it.
Oh, yeah? Any sex in it?
A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Never actually read that one.
Hey, O'Brien, relax, would you? I'm trying to read. Shut up. Do you know why no one remembers your name? It's because no one wants to remember your name. There's too many Smiths and O'Briens who show up here replacing Toccoa men. That you dumb replacements got killed in the first place. And they're all like you. 2 days later, there they are, with their blood and guts hanging out. And they're screaming for a medic. And stop with the love songs. It's been 2 years since I seen home. 2 years. It's f***ing war.
President's dead.
It's interesting how you can like see the alcoholism with Nix. Like he always just has a sheen of sweat on him now. He's much more disheveled.
This war is not about fighting anymore. It's about who gets what.
Go ahead and deal me out of the next hand.
What about your money?
Are we waiting on him again?
Yep.
Where are you going? No, don't you... He's gonna get freaking demoted again.
I'm having some trouble finding some whiskey.
Hey, Bess, you have news? 300,000 Krauts just surrendered.
Damn.
We're moving out in an hour.
1 hour?
Yeah.
Your letter.
Your mail.
He does not care. All he wants is his whiskey. I can't relate at all.
Jesus Christ, the dog? Look.
The dog?
Katz is divorcing me.
I'm sorry.
A Dear John letter when you're already in this state? Oh, God.
I'm taking the kid. She's taking the dog. It's not even her dog. It's my dog. She's taking my dog.
Sarge, what do you have in here? Germans?
Hey, where we at?
We're going to the Alps. Let me see that lighter.
Ooh, the Alps.
That near Berlin, sir?
Nope, no dropping to Berlin. Hitler ordered the Waffen SS to hole up in the mountains, repel all the invaders. He wants them to start a guerrilla war.
Invaders. Damn, I like the sound of that.
Lighter.
Oh my God.
All right, nice
He's
lighter.
addicted to the shinies.
Hey, looks like gonna get you wish anyway, Flannery, those guys. Crazy. So Keith.
I feel bad for O'Keefe.
The canopy became the shroud, he hurtled to the ground. He ain't gonna jump, glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die.
The harmony on that, though, so good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's not fine.
She hates that dog.
No more. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die.
I have goosebumps.
Then I'm gonna find me a nice Jewish girl, great big soft titties. Then I'm gonna buy a house, big house, lots of bedrooms, for all the little league gods we're gonna be making.
Janovic, what you reading?
An article.
You don't say. You're now entering enemy territory. Keep on the alert. Oh my God. Hearing 300,000 and seeing 300,000? Whew, very different things. That's so many people.
Hey, you stupid crowd bastards! That's right! Say hello to Ford and General Motors! You stupid fascist pigs! Look at you!
That's enough, Webster.
Dragging our asses halfway around the world. Interrupting our lives for
What? You ignorant, servile scum! What the f are we doing here?
It's so interesting because, like, I mentioned at the beginning that they all seem to be in much better spirits, but it's such a thin layer of temporary happiness, and as soon as any little thing happens, they completely crack. It totally makes sense. Like, I get it, but it wasn't like real happiness. They weren't really in better spirits. Oh my God. Why would they kill those ones and take all the other ones prisoner? It'd be so terrifying to be just a townsperson and watch a different military that's not your own rolling into your town because you don't know what's going to happen to you.
Okay.
Sarge.
Why the hell are you so jumpy, boy?
I'm not jumpy. I'm fine.
Shit.
Hey, George. Kind of reminds you of Bastogne.
Yeah, now that you mention it, except of course there's no snow. We got warm grub in our bellies, and the trees aren't exploding from crowd artillery, but yeah, Frank, other than that, it's a lot like Bastogne.
Right?
Bull, smack him for me, please. Thank you.
I don't know. I'm worried something's going to pop out. I don't like it.
Hello?
Sounds like the record player's still on. There must be somebody there. Okay, but who's in here? Ooh. German military house. Saw a picture back there. That one. It looks creepy. Is he dead? What's the black ribbon for? Oh my god, something bad's gonna happen. Why are there no birds? Oh, there's bird. They always say the first sign that something bad is hiding in the woods. No animal sounds.
He is right, fellas.
Wait, there are no birds. I thought I heard one. Dude. It's the guerrilla warfare. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish you could feel my heartbeat right now. I'm so nervous.
And, we came across this.
What? Frank, what is it?
I think I know what it is.
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
Ugh. Ugh. I can't even imagine coming across one of these and like having no idea what it is.
Open it up. Stand back.
Oh. Oh, they're depicting the smell too. Look at, he's covering his nose. Ugh.
Christensen, any of your men speak German?
No, sir.
We need Leave God!
Leave God! Major needs you up front right now.
Sure.
These people need care. Give them water and any spare rations you might have. Grab me some blankets, quick.
Dick?
Oh. How did they get them to look so gaunt?
Molim vas, pomozite. Još je živ. Još ga možete spasiti. Molim vas.
Die Wachen haben das Lager heute Morgen verlassen.
You said the guards left this morning, sir. They burned some of the huts first. Well, the prisoners still in them, sir. Alive. For some of the prisoners to try to stop. Some of them were killed. They didn't have enough ammo for all the prisoners, so killed as many as they could. Before they left the camp. Locked the gates behind them and headed south.
Someone in town must have told them we were coming.
Yeah, I think so.
Why are they here?
Oh my god, look at Spear's face. I've never seen him rattled like that before.
Criminals?
I don't think criminals, sir. No.
Bauern,
Doctors, musicians,
Schreiber, Schneider,
tailors,
Intellektuelle.
clerks, farmers, intellectuals, I mean, normal people. Jews.
Polen.
Poles and gypsies.
Leave God?
The women's camp is at the next railroad stop.
Look at their arms.
Keith?
He called him his real name.
Find Spears and figure out how the hell to get him some food.
Take everything. Take it all.
I had to be careful they can't give him too much.
Hey, Joiners. Yes, sir. This Dr. Kent, the regimental surgeon.
We need to stop giving these men food right now. They're starving. We give them too much to eat too quickly, they'll eat themselves to death. We need to keep them in the camp till we can find a place for them in town.
You want us to lock these people back up? We got no choice, Ness.
It feels so awful, but it's so true. I had to be really careful with how they introduce food again.
Sie müssen wieder ins Lager zurück. Es ist nur für eine kurze Zeit. Sorgen können. Bitte. Ziehen Sie wieder ins Lager.
Her face.
Wo kommen die an und schicken uns wieder zurück?
So awful.
Been finding camps like this all over the place. Seems the Russians liberated one a lot worse.
Worse.
Apparently. 10 times as big. Execution chambers, ovens.
This one looked like it was just like a labor camp. Just a labor camp.
Locals claim that they never even knew the camp existed. They say we're exaggerating.
They're gonna have a hell of an education tomorrow. General Taylor declared martial law about an hour ago. Ordered every able-bodied German in town aged 14 to 80 to start burying the bodies. That'll begin in the morning.
Where's he going? Is he sober enough to be driving?
Over there.
Oh, it's the wife. Yeah, there's no way you didn't know. She, out of everybody, absolutely knew. Yeah, you should be ashamed.
Hitler's dead.
Holy shit.
Shot himself in Berlin.
Is the war over, sir?
We have orders to Berchtesgaden. We're gonna move out 1 hour.
Why? The man's not home. Should have killed himself 3 years ago. Saved us a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he should have. But he didn't.
Something so ominous about that. During the following months, Allied forces discovered numerous prisoner of war concentration and death camps. These camps were part of the Nazi attempt to effect the final solution to the Jewish question. Between 1942 and 1945, 5 million ethnic minorities and 6 million Jews were murdered, many of them in the camps. Alright guys, that was a definitely a painful episode to watch, a difficult episode to watch, but important nonetheless. I'd be curious to know if Easy actually did find one of those camps, or if this is another example of them taking kind of the experiences of soldiers in general and putting it into easy story so that they could still share the story of others, even though it wasn't easy story specifically. But regardless, I'm glad they had it. It's always difficult to watch those sort of things, but it is so, so important. It's always an interesting question to talk about and to think about whether or not the non-soldier German people, just the regular German people, knew about the camps. And I feel like I've always gotten different answers through the years. When I went to Germany, I had the opportunity to go to Dachau, and I did not. I had my little baby with me at the time, so it didn't feel appropriate to take her there yet. But I will say, Germany as a whole did a great job of not shying away from their history and understanding the importance of their history, even if it is painful. And when I was there, one of the tour guides, who was a historian, was under the mindset that if you lived in towns around the camps, you knew of the camp's existence. You knew who was in the camps, even if you didn't know exactly how bad they were. And that's kind of what I think as well, and what I always taught my students when I was still teaching. Because in a lot of instances, there's no way that they didn't know, especially the wife of that. I don't know if he was a general. I'm going to call him general because I don't know what he was. But the wife of that general absolutely knew. And the people in that town knew there was something there. There's no way they didn't. But I do believe that a lot of them had no idea the atrocities that happened at those camps. And this camp, I said, was just, I use that word loosely, a labor camp. It didn't look like one of the more brutal, larger camps. So I do think it's possible they didn't know how awful it really was. And it's also important to remember that propaganda was very prominent, very prevalent, and they use propaganda for a reason, right? Propaganda works a lot of times, most times, especially when it's done in the way that it was done in World War II. I don't know how to explain it other than that it was very effective. It was highly effective, and it's easier to bury your head in the sand than to dig into it. So it's easier to just believe the propaganda than to fight against it, because especially for a lot of these people, what were they going to do? Which I know there are so many things that they could do. But then on the other side of that, if they did anything, if they said their displeasure, if they tried to stop it, awful things would happen to them too. And it's easy to stand back and point fingers and say, why didn't you do anything? But in the moment when you have a family, where you have kids, I can understand why it would just be easier to bury your head in the sand. But it's absolutely awful to see their reactions when they did see how awful it was. The grown men crying, the wife of the general looking really guilty. They should feel all of those things. I think one of the most impactful parts of this episode was the fact that they were able to make their extras actually look very gaunt. The makeup department did a great job with the skin discoloration. I don't know how they got them to look so gaunt. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of the corpses on the ground were probably fake, but even the people that were walking around, they did a great job making them look gaunt. I don't know how they did that. And when you see real pictures, it's even worse than that. But they did a great job trying to showcase that, and that made it very powerful. But then little things like Spears, who's literally been unruffled this entire time. Literally last episode I was laughing because a mortar shell went right over his head and exploded in front of him. He didn't even flinch, but he was actually impacted in this episode. And I think that it really just, those little subtle things really go a long way. And the way that they can kind of play on your senses. They were offering face coverings. You saw a lot of the men gagging. So you can see it. You can see how awful it is, but then they're also showing you how awful it smelled, just kind of encapsulating how awful the whole situation was. So I thought it was done really well. I also thought it was interesting. It's called Why We Fight. I thought it was interesting how they started the episode with a lot of the men questioning why they're even there, why they're still there. You see a lot of the men kind of snapping. Obviously, Nixon is really struggling. Even Webster, we saw snapping at those Germans. So to have that right before seeing the concentration camp, it was just, I just thought it was very well done. And really shows the why we fight. They gave you the question through the soldier's perspective, and then they gave you the answer. And I thought that was well done as well. The officer's wife, I definitely feel like she knew, even if the other townspeople didn't fully know the extent. And I'm not going to say that she knew everything, because the reality is her husband probably didn't tell her everything, but she definitely knew a lot. I just don't think you have a husband who's the rank that he is in that location and he's not involved in the camp. And I don't think there's any way you don't know he's involved in the camp. I used to use the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajamas when I was teaching about World War II, because I thought that did a great job of kind of showing A, the propaganda at that time, but B, what the civilians knew versus what they didn't know. And in that situation, the kids and the wife knew that they were next to a camp, but I don't think she knew just fully how bad it was. And I think that's probably the same situation with the wife in this case. And then at the very end, when they had to put all of the prisoners back into the camp, seems absolutely awful. And I cannot even imagine being the person or people who would have to tell them that they had to go back in because they finally just got free. And now you're telling them they have to go back and they don't know you. They're not going to trust you to say like, oh, this is for your own good. Like, you're not going to believe that after everything you've lived through. But the reality is, like, they did need to be careful with how food and even water was administered to them, because it really is, it's a very real point that if you eat and drink too much after starving for an extended period of time, you can literally eat yourself to death. And that did happen. So they had to be very careful with how they reintroduced food and water to these prisoners, because otherwise they would all die, because they would just keep eating and they would eat themselves to death. So awful to be the one to tell them that they had to go back in. Obviously, we saw that. It's always really difficult to watch things like this. If you enjoyed my reaction to this, I did also earlier react to Schindler's List, if you would like to watch that as well. I think I get a little bit deeper into my thoughts on the historical side of things in that movie reaction, so feel free to watch that one. I'll try to remember to do the little pop-up thing so you can click that. But if you are interested in this episode and interested in my reaction to it, you might enjoy that as well. As always, I'd like to remind you that my full reactions are over on Patreon. At the time of posting this, I think the entire series will be over on Patreon, so if you want to check that out, you can. If you would like these reactions but just a little bit earlier, you can become a channel member. And if you don't want to do either of those things, you can just subscribe, which also goes a long way. But thank you guys. I don't know why it hits me out of nowhere like that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support with this series. And I'm going to stop because I think it's going to take me a little while to stop crying. So I appreciate you all. Have an amazing day.